video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. The content of this video and all other videos on this channel are the opinions of the creator only and do not constitute legal, trading, investment, or financial advice of any kind. Investing carries a high level of risk and the majority of retail clients lose money. Do not invest any capital unless you understand the risks and you are prepared to lose it all.
Alright, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and to be honest, there's not a great deal to do today. So I've got some pretty much random tabs, which I'm going to try to get through as quickly as possible for you. I don't want to waste too much of your time. We'll recap the charts. If you're a level 3 member, I've got one or two setups to quickly kind of flash in front of you and let you know they may be coming soon. Also, I've got calf finance behind me. If you hear some baby noises, you'll have to forgive me. The wife has got to go and have a shower. So I am babysitting whilst making YouTube videos. Okay, let's dig into today's episode. First of all, I can see a bunch of people tagging me in this that they apparently are moving forward on this Congress ban from owning stocks. I've got a quick clip I'll play for you here.
I am going to start pushing for its single stock trading ban because it is the credibility of the House and the Senate that you look at some of these eye-popping returns, whether it's Representative Pelosi, Senator Wyden, every hedge fund would be jealous of them. And the American people deserve better than this. People shouldn't come to Washington to get rich. They should come to serve the American people. And it brings down trust in the system because I can tell you that if any private citizen traded this way, the SEC would be knocking on their door.
So there you have it. And of course, this is particularly important to the Camel Crew because we've had Congress banned from owning stocks at the top of this melt-up chart for a very long time. Come here, little baby. Hello. Come here. There you go. Okay. This is my life now. I can't even remember what we were saying. Alright, so this is particularly important to the Camel Crew because we have had this Congress ban from owning stocks here for some time. We saw it with the Fed officials back here, okay? They banned the Fed officials from owning stocks, which was akin to just letting themselves out at the top. And we've been hypothesizing they may well do the same thing here. And for a long time, they've been talking about it and nothing happens, of course. But it does finally seem like they are really starting to consider this as a more serious possibility. So we'll keep tracking it, right? It's by no means a prerequisite or a precursor to a top. It just means if it happens, it won't be that much of a surprise to the Camel Crew. The next thing we're going to start to jump around quite randomly now is the Altseason index, okay? For a while, I was kind of half trolling with this, hence the winky face here. Okay, and I was saying, I wonder if we see something like this. Then some time elapsed, and it actually got even more bearish, right? We made a low of something like 39 down here on the Altseason index. As you can see, since then, we're back to about the halfway mark. So if Altseason is a thing, I would think now seems like a pretty good time for this thing to shoot up without looking back. But just be open to both scenarios, okay? Because remember, it doesn't matter to me. Whether we go sideways, up or down from here makes absolutely no difference to my overall net worth or portfolio, since I don't really have a dog in this altcoin fight. But if what happens here is it continues to chop in a range, or sideways perhaps, then if you're all in on altcoins, maybe just take note of that, okay? Just be open to all possible outcomes. I would say if Altseason is real, and we don't know that it is yet, but if it is real, then now seems like a pretty good time for it to move higher without looking back. And keep in mind where we are in the larger 4-year cycle for Bitcoin, right? We are pretty much all the way through the bull phase now of this current weekly cycle. So in the not too distant future, probably about the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to start to head for a weekly cycle low. Okay, and then the question becomes, is there one final push to the upside, right? If so, super duper uber bullish, or is this actually going to mark the top for the 4-year cycle? Do we get a left translation failure, okay, in here? And is that kind of confirmed for Bitcoin by the alts flying now, okay? Do we get the rotation now, and then is the whole thing done in just a matter of weeks? I don't really know yet, okay, but as ever, we'll keep taking it one day at a time. One thing I am pretty sure of is regardless of what happens to the Altseason index, regardless of how wide the breadth is or how thin indeed it is, if I continue to be correct on this call, I believe that we are going to see a handful do extremely well. And just looking at this chart right here from Tony the Bull, it seems like this is one that is likely loading quite a nice move to the upside if, of course, history is to repeat. But again, the reason I bring this up is not because I'm trying to say we're bullish on this coin or we should all buy this coin or anything like that at all. It's simply to say, historically speaking, when XRP puts in 1 or 2 big green monthly candles into a major top, that's the end of the cycle. Okay, so again, going back here, kind of suggests maybe we have to be more open to an earlier top than many were expecting. And in many ways, what I think would actually benefit the space here is for things like XRP to keep ranging for a while, and for things like the altcoin index here to continue to stall for a while. okay, I actually think that would be beneficial because it would enable Bitcoin to complete the bull phase here of the weekly cycle, find a weekly cycle low, and then go higher once more. And if we can do this for Bitcoin, okay, then the rotation from here out of Bitcoin, if we're going to get the alt season, okay, here, I think would be better. I think there'd be more profit in Bitcoin to rotate. And then if things like XRP can continue to range sideways and then explode, I just think all of us will do better, right? I think all of us would benefit from having this market continue for a little while longer. But I'm kind of looking at this stuff not because I care about being positioned in altcoins or anything like that. It's more because if we do start to see a couple of big monthly green candles here for XRP, like I said, if we do start to see alt season start to occur right now without looking back, then it kind of suggests to me that this yellow squiggle ends here, right? This is where the bull market tops, here for Bitcoin, and then we do something like this down to that 4-year cycle low. And notice if we did this, okay, number one, it would be obvious. Why? Because we're late enough in the 4-year cycle to start looking for tops. Number two, it would also be obvious if altcoins start to fire off, because altcoins firing off tends to mark the final 6 to 8 weeks of the cycle, right? And number three, sentiment would match perfectly because in the last couple of weeks, we've seen every man and his dog throw the 4-year cycle out the window, right? And start to talk about no more 4-year cycle lows, no more bear markets and all of that jazz. So, I don't know. I think we got to be pretty switched on here, and I think we got to pay as much attention as we possibly can. Keep taking it one day at a time, keep observing the sentiment. All of the normal rules apply here, but I think laser focus is required here, and I do think the risk is getting higher by the day here as well. As promised, I'm going to continue to be more and more random in today's episode. Here's DJT. Okay, so members know about this. We took a position, we were a bit early on that. We paid a quick stop, and we've also got some in the longer term account, which I'm still holding. NASCO has chosen to enter on a camel daily cycle low that's been picked here with what looks to be some bullish momentum to the upside. If you're a level 3 member, look out for a position here, okay? Because I could see myself potentially having one final stab at this in the short term account, probably tomorrow or maybe into next week. We'll see, right? I want to see a bit more follow through here. Also, for a long time, members have been asking me about TLT. And my answer has always been, not yet. But I think we're getting closer and closer and closer. This, by the way, is one of the defensive positions for after the tops come in and we start to head for those 4-year cycle lows across the board. I often get lots of questions about how to protect ourselves during the drawdowns, and I have a default answer for that too, which is normally, let's find the tops first, okay? But I think we're getting closer and closer now, so we can start to maybe keep this in the back of our mind as one defensive position. I expect around a double out of TLT within the next 18 months, and I also expect to load up around the next weekly cycle low. Again, if you're a level 3 member, we'll discuss this in a bit more depth a little later in life. But here's TLT, big compression, and I would be kind of shocked if it doesn't do a minimum of 80% in the next 18-ish months. But I do think there's probably going to be a much nicer entry than what we've got at the moment. So I'm looking for a weekly cycle low, looking for some tops to come in and some more topping signals to show up across the wider markets. And then, like I said, expect me to load up on a weekly cycle, and we'll be targeting at least, I don't know, 150, 160 from here. I would think I'll be looking to at least sweep this high. So anyway, that's one of the defensive positions. Like I said, if you remember, we'll deal with that over the next few weeks. And I also found this from Big Mike, okay? Big Mike's got his own tell that to the bond market squiggle. And I absolutely agree. To be completely honest, we need this thing to nuke. That will catalyze the final push in the stocks and Bitcoin. And again, we'll also be able to sit here and say tell that to the bond market once more, because it is the bond market in aggregate that determines rates rather than the Fed, of course. Dixie for now, still holding a breakout, still holding higher highs and higher lows. We'll see what happens from here, okay? A change of market behavior, change in structure, a new lower low would tell me that that's the top for the weekly cycle. We've left translated, and now we're going to head to new lows. But until such time as we see some new lower lows set, then I continue to suggest this has got a little while longer to creep up. I totally forgot to cover Bitcoin yesterday. I didn't realize until way after the fact, but there's not really any changes, right? It seems to me for now, the indicator's done its job. It's found a low. The price has confirmed it with a trend line breakout. And so off we go. You can see the indicator's still keeping the possibility of seeing another cycle low to trade in this window here, but give it a couple more candles so long as it can continue up, and it will cement this low so that it cannot physically be moved ever again. And then when it does that, it will move the future cycle low window out 60 days from this low. So far so good, right? Positioned, happy days, loads of exposure via the crypto stocks in the member section as always. Gold is still trading around sideways, not doing a whole heap of anything, is it? So we'll see what happens from this. But I am still extremely confident because we've got the things like the miners leading the way. Again, members are benefiting from that. And again, if you remember, then we've got our kind of target window to start to take some profit in terms of time, not price. And last but not least, the S&P 500, stock market et al, all at fresh highs, okay? Happy days there. I haven't checked in the Russell in a while, but that's pushing up following the yellow squiggle too. All right, so I gotta be honest, okay? Not a great deal has changed, as you can see. Hopefully this video hasn't been too long. I wish you all a happy rest of the week. I'm doing a collab with Sunny today, this afternoon at UK time, and that'll be posted tomorrow, so look out for that. I'm pretty sure this one's going to break the internet. So other than that, have a fantastic rest of the week, and until next time, I'm your boy Camel. Cheers, bye.
Camel Finance, he's the man to see, rocking the markets with his contrarian spree. Trades like a pro, no fear, no shame, sticking to his guns in his money game. He's a badass, oh yes indeed. Camel